Hi everyone, it is week 7 of our pantry challenge, the Three Rivers Pantry Challenge, and it is snowing. And it is not supposed to be snowing, but if you are new to our channel, we are the Canny Couple. I'm Julia, Aaron's behind the camera, and we are a small homestead family in rural Virginia that work every single day to merge homesteading and frugality. And I'm really glad I picked this meal plan for the week. It's an easy meal plan, but it's also warm and hearty because snow was not on the agenda. Our weather forecast did not have snow on the agenda. We had a lot of rain this past weekend, but no snow, and Aaron looks out the window and we see snow flurries coming through all of a sudden. So snow is in our future. So let's talk about what we're making this week. So this week for breakfast, we are making a potato, sausage, and egg bake. Very easy, very simple, something I could throw in my little convection oven. It will not take long to cook. For lunch, we are making a chicken noodle soup. Something, again, super easy to make. I can make all of this with my pantry items. It was mostly shelf stable. The only thing I pulled out of my freezer is going to be some celery that we had grown off the homestead. And then for dinner, I am making rice. It's Asian. So we're doing rice with teriyaki pork that we have canned, and we're going to be making a yum yum sauce. So let's go ahead. We're kind of going to be going between a few different meals here because I need to get my liquid started boiling, and then we're going to make the yum yum sauce and get that in the refrigerator. So let's get our broth going and boiling here. So this is all broth that we can, and I always do a sniff test just to make sure everything looks and smells okay. I always look at the jars when I pull them out. And this is 2 cups of celery. Whenever I put them in the freezer, I always pre-package them to an approximate amount. These were 2 cups. I asked Aaron if 3 cups was enough. He said 2 cups was fine. It actually wasn't very strong in the potato soup.
And this is a mixture of turkey and chicken broth, right? Or is it all turkey?
No, this is all chicken.
Okay.
This is all chicken, I believe. And we are almost through all of our broth, but we're about to have a whole bunch of turkey broth that I can because we are about to go through and get all of those turkeys in the freezer. Almost all of them. I'll probably leave one, but we're about to get all those canned up. We might eat one. We love turkey. We can eat turkey all day long, every day. It's one of our absolute favorites. Proteins. We like turkey sandwiches. I'll make bread. Let me know in the comments what your all's pantry look like. I will tell you I'm out of white flour. I'm out of most of my sugar. But I'm still filling up my pantry with stuff. This is a quart of chicken. This was that chicken Aaron found on a great deal. Those chicken legs.
Yeah.
They got 5 pounds for $2.30. So we're doing 1 quart of those. Put that in there. Liquid and all. Since it's a chicken soup, there's no reason not to. And then I'm also going to do a pint. Again, I always do a sniff test. For me, it just makes me feel better. I know it's okay because of the seal, but it makes me feel better. I'm going to do a pint of chicken breast. Now, this is more for Aaron. He likes chicken breast better. It is his preferred cut. It just to have that little bit of extra mix. And I can always have more protein. I can't have enough protein right now. Give that a quick stir. The next thing I'm going to do after I set my jars to the side. I will tell you, I've noticed that I keep filling up my cabinet with jars. Like after a pantry cooking, I've like 20 jars that I throw in there.
It is so many. Like each week after this, like I'm putting up, anywhere from like 6 to 10 each time.
Like it is so many jars. It is crazy.
Then you're putting a can of carrots.
A can of carrots. 1 can of carrots. I don't do a lot of carrots because carrots are really expensive. I get them when I get them on sale. So now we're going to pop this on high and get it to a boil. What I have is a box of angel hair pasta. I am almost out of all of our cheaper pastas that we got like this. So we are almost out of this and almost to the organic or the single ingredient, not enriched pasta. So we are almost through it all. Aaron didn't know that.
No, it's good to hear.
So now, yum yum sauce. Need to get through this because it's cold. It's got cold ingredients. So here is my recipe card for the yum yum sauce. But I will tell you, I have one extra ingredient I need to add to this. And it's mirin. When I first started making this, I did not have mirin on this. But I've been adding mirin to it. And it's been adding a different flavor. But what I've been playing with is the amount of mirin that I've been adding. So I'm going to show you how I make it. But I'm going to double this. Now, I don't eat a lot of this sauce. I am not the sauce eater in my family. Aaron would drown himself. So he could eat less rice and more sauce. That's kind of how this goes. So I'm going to get my little cup here. As you can see, yes, it's broken. It's a 1 cup cup. I know that because I just know. I broke it probably getting sugar or oatmeal, something. But I'm going to get 2 cups of mayonnaise. Now tell me if you all have problems with this. So Aaron and Isabel loved the pasta and salsa recipe. Ate it up. Could not get enough of it. I struggled the entire time. Like it took me 4 times longer to eat it than it did them. And I struggle with this one, even though I like yum yum sauce. But it's because I know what's in it. It's got mayonnaise in it. And I'm not a mayonnaise eater. I do not like mayonnaise at all. I do not like mayonnaise at all, period. And I just struggle eating it so bad. So I can only eat a little bit of the sauce. But Aaron, if I don't double it, I won't have enough. It will not last. Literally, this will only last me through our meal prep. You're like, Julia, you're giving him too much. I can't give him dry rice.
I don't like dry rice.
He'll be choking it down. It will take him 3 hours to eat dinner. Okay, there's 2 cups. Of mayonnaise. Throw that in my, just put it in our little bowl here. I put it in one of these Pyrexes just simply because I can pour it into something a little bit more doable. I have 2 tablespoons of sugar. This is the last of my sugar that I have. I had 1 more can of tomato paste. I thought I was going to have to make tomato paste out of tomato powder, but I actually still had 1 can. Now, people make this with ketchup.
Just doesn't taste the same.
It doesn't taste the same. It don't taste right.
We tried it.
We've tried it multiple times. Multiple recipes, multiple times. It does not work. Every time. 2 tablespoons per 1. So I'm going to do 4 tablespoons of tomato paste. It matters. It really does. It really matters. And they have to be even. Do not go over. Do not do more. Do not do more. Less is actually more in this recipe. Trust me. I tried to do a little bit more one time, and Aaron called me. He's like, what did you do? He's like, this is too tomatoey. It's too something. So you cannot overdo the tomato. But yeah, we tried the ketchup because my mom's like, just use ketchup. And I'm like, I can't. It does not taste good. It does not taste dry. And she does everything. She is not a recipe person. So you all are like, well, Julie, I need recipes. My mom's not a recipe person either. She does not do recipes. So she can't give me a recipe for how she makes it with ketchup for me to actually be able to do it the way she made it whenever I was a kid. So there's no way for me to recreate it. But I have a hard time eating it. I do. I have such a hard time eating it. And if I think about it at all, it just turns my stomach. It does. It turns my stomach. Okay. The rest of this will go in my freezer. I will separate it out so that way I won't be able to use all of that in one go unless I'm making like a soup or something. Mirin, going to use, I have been doing 1 tablespoon. This time I'm going to do 1 tablespoon per batch. Now I'm going to do 1/2 of a tablespoon, so we're just going to do 1 tablespoon in total. Just to see if that kind of gives it enough of that flavor, but not overwhelming the actual taste. Then we have our rice wine. And we need 2 of these. Let me make sure. Yes, 2 of these.
It's rice wine vinegar.
Yes, rice wine vinegar. Sorry. I've made this enough now. Aaron kind of knows.
I recognize the bottle.
I'm going to get rid of this one and switch to a different one. Now, I have found for this recipe, butter powder works better than melted butter. So you're like, butter powder, Julia. Yep, butter powder. If I don't get it wet. So I need to use 2 tablespoons of butter powder. And what happens is when I add the water, it will liquefy. I just need to use a little bit more water. So this is 1/2 of a tablespoon, so I need to do this 4 times. And then now it's time to add all of our spices. So we need our teaspoon here. Aaron got me this handy dandy little thing here. It's actually quite wonderful. I love it. Because they're magnetic and I use it all the time. I don't think he realized how much I would use it. So we're going to use a teaspoon of, I thought I needed ginger, but I don't. It's just paprika and garlic. I don't know why I thought I needed ginger. So a teaspoon of not ginger, but garlic, and a teaspoon of paprika. So we need to double that. So we'll need 2 teaspoons of garlic and 2 teaspoons of paprika. If you're wondering why we have these labeled on the sides and the tops, that is because I'm very prone to leaving jars and lids open. Just in case we get the tops mixed up, we could really, really mess that up. So I'm going to add 1/2 of this 1/2 cup of water to this. Now it will be too thick. I will need to add more water to this as we go through and after it sits, because it will be too thick after it sits in the refrigerator.
It has to be cold.
It has to be cold. I won't know until after it sits. So after it sits for probably 24 hours, I'll have more known. But after it gets better as it sits. It really does. And we just pour it into like a barbecue bottle, things like that. It works really, really well. I think I can tell you now, it needs a little bit more water. You don't want it too thin, but you also don't want it too thick. You're like, Julia, that's an awful lot of sauce for 2 people. My little one, she did like it, but then I think I made it too strong and now she won't eat it.
It's been a while though.
It's been a while.
Try it again.
If she tries it, she doesn't like it, she won't eat the rice. You know how she is.
I know.
If I can get her to eat the rice, I'd rather her eat the rice than have the sauce. He just wants her to eat mayonnaise because I hate it. He does. Tell me it's not the truth.
No, this is good.
Cause you want her to eat potato salad so bad.
Well, that way she can make it for me.
I make you potato salad. Just not often enough. All right, I'm gonna get this in the refrigerator. I'm gonna get the mayonnaise in the refrigerator. We'll come back and I'll make everything else for you and show you what we're doing. Okay, got that in the refrigerator. Now let me show you how we're going to make the rice for dinner. So I've already got the rice in the water. I did 5 cups of rice and 5 cups of water, but I also added the majority of our pork juice from our pints here. So I've got pints here of pork. I did 4 pints. And I'll show you what I'm going to do with that. But I'm going to show you what I did. And I'm using 3 of those pints and just poured it in carefully into here just to add that extra flavor and those nutrients so we don't have to waste it. It's just going to add extra flavor into that rice and give it more of a complement. Now normally if I had any more of this, and I'll talk about why we use store-bought sauces here in just a minute for this particular meal, I would add this in here as well. I only have 1 of these, so I can't do that in this meal. I'm going to add 1 can of corn here. So let me get that added. It was drained and rinsed. So this is just sweet corn from the grocery store. And then I'm also going to add a can of peas and carrots. I find these work really, really well for this meal. Now, this is how I sneak peas at Aaron. Aaron is not a pea eater. He does not like peas, but he will eat peas in this meal. He will eat peas in this meal. Or in soup if I sneak them in.
Yep.
Now, all I do is I pop the lid on and I set it to rice and I'm done. And this was jasmine rice because that's what we have. Okay, the pork itself. Let me check my water. We are almost at boiling. I'm going to crack it just a little bit. Okay, I'm going to start with the jar that has some liquid in it here in my pan. And I don't care if I pull this meat apart. And this is just pork butts that we've canned. We've caught on sale for about 99 cents or cheaper. That's about as cheap as I can get them. What I've done is trimmed as much of the fat off as I can.
We don't have the good sales that we always see in Texas.
Yeah, we don't get anything like that. And this is going to be falling apart by the time it's time to eat it. Because I'm just going to cook this down. Now, I will tell you, if you can get, like, I've been making this before. I was making it with really, like, we got these cheap ribs. They were super cheap ribs.
They were.
They were super, but cooked them in the Instant Pot. And man, were they good on this.
Yes.
They were amazing on this. It was because I used the sauce on it, and it would just cook them till they fell off. They just fell apart, and they just turned out really good. And beef ribs, because we are not a beef rib people. We did not like beef ribs. We just could not get them.
It's good this way.
As pork, they are not. So we found we really liked them this way. And I'm just gonna keep pulling them out. And I did 4 pints, and you're like, well, Julia, why don't you can these into quarts? I'd rather can our meat into pints, simply, especially pork, because this is like a rare meal for us. We wouldn't usually eat this in pints, or we wouldn't usually eat this many.
Yeah.
And I would normally do this in chicken, but we're having chicken soup, so I didn't want to have chicken on top of chicken. And I can open up a few more jars, so that's fine with me. Okay. And I'm going to pull out this jar. Now, I've tried making teriyaki sauces. That's our favorite. They'll eat them. But Aaron just gave me a look like they're okay. Nah. It's really hard for me to get like compliments like that's really good.
On teriyaki, yeah.
On anything.
Oh.
So I'm going to pour 3/4 of this here. I got to be careful because some of this is going to go on Isabel's. And I'm going to pour 3/4 of this onto the meat. Yep. Because Isabel, this will go on her food. So I'll put this in the refrigerator. We'll use that for hers. And I have some others if I need it. But what this will do with that other jar is it will just mesh and it will cook down. And it will just become like this sweet glaze as it cooks down with that extra pork broth. We'll just let it cook a little bit slow and just let it kind of cook down, and it will just kind of become sticky. And no, this lid does not match the skillet because the skillet does not have a lid. I had to just get a lid that worked. You make it what works. So there's dinner. This will cook. When we come back later and Aaron tastes test, this will all be beautiful. It kind of sticky. It fit on top of that rice. It'll be wonderful and lovely. Now, breakfast. 14 eggs here. I've already added the...
I know this one right here might be harder for some people right now.
It is, but we have chickens.
Right.
We have chickens, so I'm using the eggs because we have chickens. And I totally get that. But if you have chickens and you have eggs, this is actually a different meal. One we tried it with just the potatoes, and I think we can amp it up and make it a little bit better.
Yeah, I don't know what you're making here.
Was that potato bake? It was with the potatoes and the eggs. It's been a while. So what we're doing is we've got 14 eggs here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take and I'm just going to do a quick scramble. I thought about using my immersion blender, but I think if I just did a quick scramble, they would be just fine as well. I used some pepper, went ahead and did that. I didn't add any salt because I have sausage I'm going to add in here as well. And we're just going to do a quick mix here. Now, tell me in the comments below, who uses a fork to scramble eggs and who uses a whisk? What's your preference? I don't like using a whisk. I think a fork gets you a better scramble personally. Look at how fast that was. All right, now we are going to add 1 can of sausage that I canned up. I've got 4 packs in the freezer that I bought before the pantry challenge started. I need to get in the canner. I'm hoping it goes back on sale here soon.
We haven't seen it in a while. We haven't seen many sales in a while.
We have not. Valentine's Day was an awful week for sales. Oh my word. I've got a pack of cheese here. It was sharp cheese. Now, here is a trick. If you have a big family and you're trying to cut back on how much cheese, the sharper the cheese is, the less you need, because it's going to give you a stronger flavor. Now, this is kind of like a quiche, like without a crust, like what I would call a quiche. But I don't want to make a crust. I don't have the flour for it. Because I would want to use like a regular all-purpose flour personally. I've got a whole wheat flour, but I wouldn't like that. Aaron might, but I wouldn't. So because of that, I like my cheese cut up into chunks for that kind of a meal. Now, the next thing I have here is potatoes. That's why you see it. I'm like, these are my scrap buckets. These are what I use to put our chicken scraps in. And I'm going to take 1 quart of our homegrown, home-canned potatoes and just toss them in there. I rinsed them off, and I just had them up there so they would be fully drained. Now, you can add some seasoning here. In the original recipe I was using had garlic, and I think it overpowered the meal. I really do, because I felt like I smelled garlic throughout the entire house whenever I originally made this meal. I can't believe Aaron can't remember it.
I cannot.
But it looks really good. This would be good with ham. If you had ham and you liked ham, if you had family members like ham, like Aaron, I just made the note of ham and he gave me a face. Aaron is not a ham eater. Isabel just told me she wanted a ham, and he had a look on his face and said, yes, baby, I will get you a ham. I've been looking for hams on sale. They had them on sale the other day at our grocery store. We didn't get there in time before they ran out. They were gone
pretty quickly. They had notes up already on the doors and the section where it was that they were out of those.
So this will go in the convection oven until it's cooked. I might stir it halfway through just to make sure that it's done, but I'll get it in the convection oven because that is cheaper for me to run it compared to my actual oven. Now let's check and see if our liquid is boiling here, but that will cook just until it's done. I'm guessing it's probably going to take 40 minutes to an hour. I will cook it at 350. You can cook it hotter if you would like. I cook at 350 on my convection oven simply because of my countertops. I do not cook any higher than that because I'm worried I don't want to break them. I'm always careful of my countertops. Looks really good. Though I need to add some seasoning here. Aaron completely forgot I didn't add any seasoning. He would have been upset. He would have been like, this doesn't have any taste. So first we're going to add some Redmond's real salt because that is our favorite. But we went kind of light. I'm going to add a little bit of pepper. And this is the pepper we get from our vanilla group actually, but it lasted us a really long time. We got what, like 4 ounces?
I think so, of wild peppercorn.
And then I'm gonna pop the top off of here. This is roasted garlic and herb seasoning, and I'm just going to put a little bit in there. And I like a garlic and herb seasoning for anything that is chicken based, anything that's kind of soup based. I feel like it goes really good with chicken or potato, anything like that. I can't go wrong. I can't mess it up. I have to be careful because I can really mess it up. I have messed up soup before, trust me. I tried to do a savory butternut squash soup before. That did not turn out. That did not turn out my favorite.
Makes me never want a savory, like we always like a sweet.
We like a sweet butternut.
Yeah.
We are not savory squash like winter squash people. We like the pumpkin bread, the pumpkin pie. That's just our preference. And I know there's lots of recipes out there for it, but I've not found one that we have been able to stomach yet. We're close to boiling. And once we get it to boil, I'll just add our angel hair pasta. Now my initial plan was to do a fettuccine, but I didn't have any fettuccine on hand. A fettuccine would have held up better, but I'm pretty sure the angel hair will do okay for this recipe because I've used this angel hair quite a bit in the past for meal prep. Now I will tell you the penne pasta that we used in that brand, that good.
Yeah, a couple weeks
ago. It didn't hold up as good as the macaroni. The macaroni, we did the reheat of it this week from the freezer. Held up beautifully.
Yeah.
Held up beautifully. It held up super, super well. Now I'm boiling. I can add this in. So, funny story. If you're new to our channel.
I know what you're going to tell.
When Aaron and I first got together and I was cooking spaghetti, Aaron's like, I was put the water on for the pasta, and Aaron's like, I'll go ahead and add the pasta. And I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, I'm adding the pasta. And I'm like, don't add the pasta. The water's not boiling. He's like, but I always add the pasta. And I'm like, but the water's not boiling. He's like, oh, well, no wonder your pasta tastes better than mine. It's like the directions are on the box.
Somebody didn't read directions.
Now I am breaking this because it is chicken noodle soup and it will be easier for us to eat. And if the little one wants to eat it, I'm sorry. I know a lot of people do not break their pasta. We do. I have a toddler. And I butcher her pasta. I seriously take scissors to it. So yell at me all you want to. And I overcook the pasta. So yell at me, whatever. We cook it for us. You cook it for you. That's kind of how I look at it. So I'm going to keep breaking the pasta. When we come back, everything will be ready to go and cook. Aaron will do a taste test. And yeah, we'll see how it all turns out. I think this is a pretty easy meal.
Okay, so we're here with breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So here's breakfast with a little hot sauce on it.
And here it is in the skillet.
See what this tastes like. It does remind me of your quiches that you make.
With the potato added.
Mm-hmm. That's good. Okay. It needs the hot sauce though for me.
I know it needs the hot sauce for you. I know you.
Okay.
And this is the soup. Let me show you the soup. It actually turned out really good. She just told her daddy he was silly.
That's good though. Okay. And now, supper.
Supper. As you see, it's drowning.
Okay.
I think it's perfect this time.
Do you?
I do. I think I got it just right, cutting it back. Don't you think so?
That's good. That's really good.
What do you think the pork?
Uh-huh. That's really good.
You like the pork?
I do.
Just cooking it that way it turned out just right.
Somebody doesn't know the quiet voice when we said quiet voice.
Quiet mouth.
But
it's super simple meal.
really good. So I'm going to enjoy this after working outside here a few minutes ago. So,
planting some trees.
Yep. But, got any comments, questions, you can leave those down below or check out our link tree with all of our other content. And
as always, thank you for joining us on the Canny Couple, where we work hard, live simple, and enjoy life, and play with cars.
Yes.
Have a wonderful day.